Buenos dias! Hi, it's Angel. We're here today, back with MSFS 2024, to test a theory. This is a Pilatus PC-24. Now, this is a jet. It's a business jet, produced by the Swiss company Pilatus. And the Swiss love mountains. And I love chocolate. So I can't think of a better relationship here. Now, if we do some basic math, the PC-24, if you cut it in half, is 2 PC-12s. They're a really good bush plane. And if you cut that in half, you get 2 PC-6s, which makes a PC-24 4 PC-6 Porters. And Porters are fantastic bush planes. So this should be awesome. I don't see a problem at all. Now, its 50-foot takeoff distance is 3,600 feet fully loaded, and 2,600 feet to land. Now, this should be no problem for us today, because none of our strips are that short, but most of them are dirt and grass, because this is intended to be a rough field capable business jet. So we're going to test exactly that. Now, its performance capabilities can get to 45,000 feet. In terms of her actual specs, she can do a cruise of 440 knots, stalling at 83. Range is about 2,000 nautical miles at a full payload. Ferry range up to 2,100 nautical miles with one pilot, which isn't much improvement. But that's ferry range, so maxing out fuel. Now, this should be a very capable aircraft. We're powered by 2 Williams FJ44 turbofans with 3,400 foot-pound of thrust. We should have a great time today, and we're going to do just that. Now, I have started because I've been having some weird moments with sounds with some aircraft recently, including this one, and there's no parking at this strip. But before we actually go anywhere properly, let's turn my head tracking off for a second so we don't end up bouncing around like monkeys inside a tumble dryer. We're going to have a quick thank you for Tor Systems testing. One of the things I love about this is we have a full kitchen back here. Wish I could open those, but we can't. But we can close our doors to the cabin. We can sit back here in our cabin. We can enjoy the scenery from a seat back here. We can close our windows, open our tray tables, turn our lights on above our heads. Relaxing experience while set to autopilot. There's a big exterior cargo hatch at the side like the PC-12 here. For this rather large cargo bay at the rear of the fuselage. So for a business jet, she's very capable for doing all sorts of cargo-y type things. You know, PC-12 type ops, but with jets. So let's do some bush flying, shall we? Now, obviously, we're not showing up on here, but that shouldn't be a problem for us. We're set flaps for takeoff right now. Everything is ready to rock and roll for us here. And let's get ourselves on the way. So I will release our parking brake, and I will hold our brakes in here, whilst I get my head switched back on again, so we can do this. But we're heading today from La Riviera Airport here in Mexico, Mike Papa Tango, down to Santa Fe, which is 3,600 feet of dirt, Mike Hotel Echo, then down to Mike Bravo Juliet Rancho Grande, 3,300 feet dirt, and on to finally Mike 32 Puerto Libertad, which is asphalt. It's about 4,000 feet, so not a problem for us in any of these, but I'm going to see just how little we use. That's the important test here. Could go for the mountains, but I don't think that's going to work too well in my favour. So, without further ado, let's get ourselves rocking, shall we? Plus, it's nice and summery down here in the desert. Thrust is coming up to peak. Okay, thrust is good. Let's make sure that is set where it needs to be. My trim is set to pitch for climb. Airspeed's alive. We're coming up on airspeed. 50, 90, 80. This whole back of the controls here. Get that nose climbing. She doesn't want to lift. Oh. Whoa, hello. Yep, that's a bit excessive. Too much trim in there. Pull this back here whilst we climb. I am not much of a bizjet person, but they can make our lives a little bit interesting at times. Funny because I can pull screens up at the side, which just disappear when I look up. Funny. That's weird. Microsoft. Why'd you go and do that? No one knows why they did that. Let's get this nose down here. So our pitch is going to be interesting for takeoff and landing. That's going to be something to factor in. Now, let's open our tablet here and take a look at what we're doing down here in Mexico. So I need to turn inbound for our first run to Santa Fe. We should be inland from where we are now, so we should be just fine. Now, obviously, it's a business jet, and when I say it's intended, it can do grass and rough field. They mean gravel, dirt, well-maintained grass. We're talking well-maintained, non-hard surface runways. This is not a bush plane, by any stretch of imagination. No one's going to do this with an aeroplane that costs this much. But the fact is, this is a simulator, and I'm not paying for it. So we're going to see just how much we could abuse it. Which is why I was trying to peel it off the runway as quickly as possible there. It gives me information that I need to learn to be able to better do horrible things. Because I've never flown this before, so we're going to find out together just what it's capable of. Okay. Put my power back because I just don't need all this speed. Shouldn't be a super duper long flight today, but it should be just enough to really kick the tyres and test what this thing can do. Okay, flaps are good, gear is good, engines are good. Everything is as we need for cruise here. Flying over beautiful Mexican countryside. We're still a bit north here, so it's still quite scrubby and dusty. A lot of agricultural land, but when you head further south, you start to get into the greener stuff around Guadalajara. And the volcanic terrain down there. This is very Texasy and New Mexico-y right now, of course, because it is around that same kind of border region here. We're just inland from Baja. I believe this is... I don't remember which exact Mexican state this is, but it's one of them, obviously. I want to say it's Sonora. I think it might be Sonora. Either way. Right, not super far here. Let's give it a little bit more juice because we don't need to be worrying too much about the ponies. One of the nice things about this is it can get up to 440 knots in cruise. Obviously at high altitude, which makes it a very quick little aeroplane. And of course, great visibility. Not normally the aircraft flown repeatedly on hand flying, but typically if I was going from A to B in this, I'd stick the autopilot on for a nice smooth ride, but we want to enjoy ourselves today, so as soon as we pop out to this IMC, we should see the road ahead. There we go. Bring my nose down here just to kind of settle us out. So I know I did the last review of the Cow's DA40 on the new 4070 Ti Supercard. Loving it so far. It's been flawless. Really had zero issues whatsoever. And not a totally expensive graphics card option either, if you're looking to upgrade. Mine cost about $800. And the architecture of it, the Ada Lovelace architecture of the 40 series, definitely is a major benefit. DLSS 3 being a huge bonus for it. The 16 gigs of bandwidth didn't hurt either. Fly around the clouds, no need to worry about those. We'll follow the road here up the valley, and we should be just good. But I'm pretty sure our destination's right there, so judging by this, we should be kind of on target, yeah. We are. A little bit more juice. Covering this distance fairly quickly. Put those down trim here. Now what is that spinny circle thing for on the screen? What's it trying to do to me now? I swear this sim always finds a new excuse to do something horrible. The lighting is stunning in 24, I will give it that. For every flaw I've seen and think of, the lighting is incredible. Overspeed. Oh, stop complaining. I'm not used to aircraft that are capable of overspeeding. Fine, I'll slow down. You win. Where are we at? Okay, so follow this valley around here. And it should be about there, if I'm judging this correctly. Mountains to our south. Now this will be 3,700 feet of dirt, so it should be a little bit bumpy, but we should be okay. I'm going to see just how short we can land, because 2,600 is our max load distance, so it should be much shorter. That will be the real test. That will decide for us if this is worth it at all, or we're going to be in real trouble. Yeah, that's absolutely showing me the correct marking on there now. Still not super familiar with the, yeah, that's the one we're looking for here. Right down here. So it's time to start slowing down, I think. Now we're on our approach. We'll get sight on the field, we'll make our evaluation, and we'll do a landing. Because I've never been here before in my life, so it should make it exciting, if nothing else. A bit much like, I suppose, Flying Doctor Operations Australia, having to work out how to operate this thing into places you may not have been before. Rougher fields. In fact, this is most likely going to be a major kind of market for it, is things like the Royal Flying Doctor Service. They have jets that do that service out there alongside their King Airs and PC-12s, so as an air ambulance it would be a fantastic aircraft for that capability to go to more places. Okay, verify once again where we are from this. So it should be off this side. Okay, that looks to be those fields there. So it should be but over there, somewhere, right here, if I'm judging this correctly. Yeah, that's right there. Which puts us directly north of that plot of fields there, so right on the edge of here. Okay. Having the satellite maps available for the in-flight tablet is fantastic. Helps to really equate what you're looking for on the landscape with where you're actually flying to, rather than charts, which can be a little bit more difficult to relate to what you're seeing out the window. And it's reducing the workload on the pilot when you can see what you're looking at. So modern tablet systems like Garmin Pilot and other things like that are fantastic for that kind of spatial clarity, I'll call it. Okay. I see the strip there, so this shouldn't be too difficult at all. Sit right ahead of us here. There. Okay. Bring the speed down so we can maneuver more effectively. We aren't going to be landing this time by though. But I do want to descend. So we'll light the engines here. Bring the nose down. I want to do a bit of a fly past so I can check it out. Never mind the fact that half the time Flight Sim likes to throw massive rocks onto my runways, which will make life far more interesting if we end up flipping end over end in a jet. I'd rather not do that if I can help it. Weird fun fact. I have not changed my object view distance and draw distances yet. Mountains and terrain, if you can tell here, look way sharper, way further away than they ever have. And the graphics settings didn't really change. Just the graphics card. So quite interesting. And that's that black mark in the middle of my runway. Because it looks like it's something right in the middle of the runway surface. I hope that's not an obstruction. That could be a major problem. Although I think, judging by this, we have 3,749 feet. That looks to be just after about 3,000 feet, maybe? Just short, 2,800 feet. No, it's just a black shadow. Okay. Looking fine. Let's get this thing turned around and bring around for an approach, shall we? Bit of a steep bank here. We're going for more of a brake like a fighter jet because we're not carrying passengers for this and I just want to get us turned around in time. Okay. We should be downwind now. We are downwind. Fantastic. Which means I can drop gear. And drop flaps. Power up. To compensate for that. 87's our stall speed, so I have to watch out for that. Just keyholes a little bit to give us a bit more room and distance here to set up. Bring our nose up. Now, I know when I was told about the PC-12 that you trim the PC-12 into its flare. Which was counter to everything I've been taught in GA aircraft, but the PC-12 has so much power, it can pull away whilst doing that. I'm going to follow the same instructions for the PC-24, given that I know it has more power. Alright, starting our turn to final. Okay, coming round. Yep, okay, got it. So we're stalling slightly faster under these conditions. Yep, please don't complain at me anymore. I'd rather you didn't. Okay, she's just looking a little bit cheeky for us right now, so flaps are to full. Okay, there's our strip. Bring the nose round, nose down. Okay, we're coming down, nose is down, bring that power back on. We're going to need it in a second. Okay. Drift right a little bit. I've got my marker picked out. Looking good. Power's coming back. Preparing to trim this into the flare. Pull the nose up. I'm floating a lot. Brakes are on. I'm going quite long here because I floated the thing. Not ideal, but she's definitely riding the bumps. Oh, that's a building. Please don't hit the building. I don't want to explode. Did my reversers even engage? This doesn't even have reversers, does it? And my spoilers aren't engaging. That's even more concerning. Do I have reversers at all? I'm holding F2. I don't think I have reversers on this. That's going to contribute to this being a little bit sloppier. Well, I have spoilers. They just didn't engage. Those are the spoilers. Why didn't you engage? That's unfortunate. I would love to have known if that was going to happen. That would have been really useful. And should have an auto system on this possibly somewhere. No, not that I can see. Okay, that's fine. We'll get ourselves turned around. We'll get ourselves out of here, of course, because we need to leave. As nice as this place looks with all the cactuses. Let's get this jet spun around here on the desert sand. Feels hot even being here. And it feels so very weird for me landing on a dirty, dusty farm strip out in the middle of the Mexican desert in a business jet. This feels highly Pablo-esque, even though it is not, I promise. Taxi across this scrubby, dirty ground. Okay, let's get this thing done, shall we? Off down to Rancho Grande. One thing I've noticed, weirdly enough, is that I once was able to roll my R's in a very Spanish way. I was really capable of it, only my Spanish R has turned into a German R, which is ruining my accents and pronunciations, because I'm now rolling my R the different way. Because it's similar but different. Okay, speed's looking good. Come on, back of the controls. Let's get the nose up here. Yep, come on, up we come. That's good. Yep, okay, we're up. That's fine. Bit of a pop shove there. Now, that was just about what we needed for the runway length for takeoff, but we used less than that by a margin, so... Overspeed. Yes, calm down. Calm down. Drop that speed really fast. Gear is up, flaps are up. We are safe and secure to speed up here. And we'll check on our approach to Rancho Grande. My R's are bad now. Rancho Grande. Right. No. Yeah. It's a different mouth sound. The rolled R is a different mouth sound. I could feel it as I'm saying it. Like to say richtig, versus ra. You used to move a ra, front of the mouth sound, whereas it's the back of the mouth sound for the German R. It's a weird... It's hard for me to explain. But, yeah, it's like, rather than it being at the front of the mouth, like the Spanish one, it feels like it's at the back. It's the best way I can describe it. Different placed mouth sound for the roll. Welcome to Language Lessons with Avangel. Because of reasons. Now, this should not be very far away at all for us. In fact, it should be just down there. Well, it's further than the first leg, but that didn't take us very long in the slightest, so we should be good. So we'll get ourselves set up here, we'll pick some speed up, and we'll get this thing done in no time whatsoever. In fact, for your sake, we'll skip a bit of this, and we'll just get towards the approach. Okay, so we are back now, and we're a lot closer to Rancho Grande. Now, this one is going to be 500 feet shorter than what we had there. Now, we've learned a lot from our first landing, that balloon impact, and we also know we have no reverser, which is no good. Or at least not what I was used to, because I was expecting to get a reversing effect. Didn't get any. Spoilers do exist, but they're going to be hard for me to deploy manually, because I haven't got anything mapped for that. Minor issue. Thought I did. We have what we need. We can arm them and we can get them ready, so we should be fine. Should be no problem whatsoever. That means we'll get our spoilers out as soon as we touch down. It will help us to slow. So that is fantastic. Now, looking at what we've got here. The river is our marker, and we have this circular field past our destination. Should put us in the right area for this. Can't see it yet, so it's going to be off our nose somewhere there. A little bit this way. Suspecting it's about here. Just ahead of us. Should make finding it relatively easy. Terrain's all very flat out here, so it's making things a little bit more hard to recognise. But that mound there should be this, that double mound. That should be the one that's to the side of us, so we should be about here. Which is accurate based on this, so looks like the terrain is matching my impression. And as our destination is between those two, that should be where we need to go. So keep an eye out for our crop field, and we should be able to find everything we need. So 500 feet less, we should have no problem, because we floated last time. We won't do that this time. We'll have the spoilers armed for our landing. We're on a basically runway heading now, so rather than faff around, I'm going to go for a straight in. We know a bit more about this, and the runway should be clear. So what's the worst that can happen, right? There's the slight swelling of the land, so we should be ahead somewhere. So let's get this speed down. That looks to be our field. Or something akin to it, I can't quite tell. There's something here. There's a town to the side of it. It looks to be a town right there, so... Oh boy, it's about to get interesting. Okay, let's bring the speed down. We'll do what we need to do here. We'll evaluate what we're going with. So, arming spoilers. Could you please? That's no pitch, please. Let's go back up here with you. Whilst I work, why my spoilers don't want to arm now? Is it certain speed that's limiting them? Okay, gears coming down. I think I see our... Yep, that's here. Okay, we're on target. That's how to extend. Oh god, that's bad. 500. Okay, whew. Okay, avoided that. That's not working. Why are you not working? Why are you not working? The one time I need you to work is when you need to work. How dare you not work? Because I can extend them manually, but I can't arm them. And it won't let me click to arm. Oh, now it will. Okay. Whew, we're good. We're good. So, to full flaps. Power on. We're lined up. Looking good. So excuse my near nosedive into the ground there. That was not intentional. Speed brakes are armed. We are prepared for landing. Trim here to get a stabilizer my nose. Yes. Quiet. Shut up. That's an AOA stall. You're not really stalling. You just think you are. If I'd have maintained it, you would have done at least. This looks quite short. Okie dokie, here we go. Yes, 100. Boom, much better touchdown. Much better touchdown. Our spoilers are out. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. That's how we do it. Much better. Let's take a quick look at this. Slightly to the side, but that's fine. And that's our total distance at 3,300. I'd say we're using just over half. So about 2,000 feet, I'd say, is about fair. Not bad in the slightest. Let's get turned around, shall we? Let's get ourselves out of here. We'll fly to Puerto Libertad and be just great. So, yeah, no, the aircraft is much more understandable the more I give it a go. I'm doing this on purpose. Very eyes closed. First run. Doing it blind because I always find when I'm testing out an aircraft, it gives me the most original, most organic impression of said aircraft. Good, those are neutralized. It gives me the most organic impression of an aircraft, which is the most useful when it comes to learning how to fly it, because I understand the limits better when I find them. When I get told where the limits are and have to basically fly it by the exact numbers they've been told, then I can fly the aircraft just fine, but I can't really understand it. Whereas if I take it out and I actually try to kind of tweak the last inches out of it that I can possibly get, I get a far better understanding of the aircraft. Pitch is set to correct takeoff. Okay, we're releasing. Note down there on the central console you have our pitch, trim indicators for nose, or for pitch, roll and yaw. 75, 80 knots. Leaps into the air. Whoa! No, 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 no. Gear up. Okay, keeping the nose down here. That was fantastic. Flaps coming up. Flaps are up. And we're transitioning away. Not bad at all. Much, much, much nicer. See what I mean about this thing learning and telling me what it wants to do? We start to get things right and things behave themselves beautifully. Now we'll find our heading for Puerto Libertad. So I didn't program it in the FMC, I programmed it in the sim. Okay, we're off this way. Now, like I said, Puerto Libertad is longer and it's asphalt, but it's out by the coast. So it'll be a nice final arrival for us today. And as much as you like looking at desert, I'm, for your sake, gonna cut until we're basically on approach, because you don't need to see this much sand. Well, we're back here. We're approaching Puerto Libertad. In fact, the airport's right ahead there, so let's get auto disconnected. And the yaw dampers. Let's pull our throttles back here. Now, the strip here at Puerto Libertad, we're on a base to final approach for this right now, so it shouldn't be too bad for us, as long as we slow down. In fact, let's encourage that slowing down, shall we? Until I can remap this to something more useful. Okay, that is set there, so primed. Land. Oh, crap. Nope. No, 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 no. Too fast. Pull the gear up. Whoopsie daisy. Not sure if we'll be slow enough for this, but we'll find out. Come on, slow down. Not by much. Come on, just to slow down a little bit. There we go. Perfect. There's Puerto Libertad on the coast. At its power station. There's the solar fields. And there's the field. I think we're going to be a little bit on the... It could be a bit of a steep approach, but we'll see what we do with this. So start to roll her in for final. I think we actually might make this just fine, actually, surprisingly enough. Just. It's a little steep, but it's not going to be bad. I think we can handle this. This will be a test as to whether I've learned the aircraft properly or not. It's a downhill approach to final, but we're losing a lot of speed very quickly here. And we've got plenty of room on a hard surface, so we should be just fine. No need to apply any power. Trim is good. Configured. We've lost just the right amount of speed, and we're perfect altitude-wise now. Look at that. See? You learn quickly. There we go. Perfect. Spoilers are retracted. And we used that much. It's about the same, probably about 2,000 feet. So I think with a little bit of practice you can get used to it and get this aircraft to really behave itself. Okay, let's pull the flaps in. Alert from my takeoff trim positioning was not configured correctly. It is now. But we're heading to the parking area for this one. So, what have we learned? You can probably do this at about 2,000 feet when it's lighter. Not a lot more than the 2,600, but it can definitely get it done. And she's got very good performance in terms of actually getting to ground on the gravel and dirt strips. It doesn't want to wiggle around too much, and it's not too bouncy. Visibility is fantastic for making approaches to much more kind of trickier approaches and runways, which is nice. Lots of visibility from the cockpit. Aircraft's performance and actual speed degradation once you try to get a loose speed is very good. So that's one thing we saw in that final approach there. I was able to bleed a ton of speed in that final turn, and it looked like I was too high, but I wasn't, so it worked quite nicely. There's some very interesting planes parked up here in the middle of nowhere. I do like some of the local aircraft that get dropped in here sometimes, you know. Looks like a Embraer, maybe? There's a van waiting for us. A very suspicious van waiting for me. Okay, cut that. Cut that. Engines are shutting down. And we can get off the plane. Waiting for whoever's in this wonderful van to help us offload whatever we need to. But what's this? We've got a 177. I'd love to see someone bring one of these into the sim, and I'll even accept Coronados. I'd love to see a good 177 arrive. We've got a 142. And that is not a 185. Is that a one... The rounded tail, it's either an A model, 180. Although Tundra tires, it could be 170. The low slope profile of the nose makes me think 170. Weird how it sits with its tail up even here for static aircraft, but that's what it is. And I'm pretty sure that's a Phenom behind me. But I will say the Pilatus PC-24 is a great aircraft to fly. If you're not a jet expert or not someone who's proficient in jets, it's really, really simple in there. Flies great, hand flies fantastically, looks the business. And that's not a Phenom. That is weird. It could be an idiot and it could just be a Premier 1, whatever that is, but I don't know what that is. Beechcraft Premier 1. Okay, wow. Never seen one of these before. The long nose is definitely different. Huh. And this is not an aircraft with scenery, by the way. This is just a spawned AI aircraft. A Beechcraft Premier 1. I've never heard of them. And there's AI traffic for it. 24 definitely has huge improvements over what we've seen in the past. Well, we'll put baby to get to bed in the desert, and look at how dirty this thing is from our flying today. That is all dust and sand caked on this plane. Our beautiful biz jet is caked in dirt. That's how a plane should look, right? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!